Alex here with another scanner review. This time we're going to take a look at the Topdon AD900BT, which is an advanced bidirectional scanner that also has advanced service functions. And on this video, I'm going to show you what you get inside of this kit, as well as walk you through the features of this scanner. And here's what the scanner looks like. Now the outer portion is slightly softer than the inside portion, and that's going to provide for drop protection. Also notice in the back that you can see how it is slightly raised on both sides, and that is going to be helpful to be able to hold on to the scanner. And the power button is located in the upper right hand side of the scanner, and it's a good size, which is always a good thing to be able to find it when wearing gloves. And on the bottom there is a dust cover. Underneath that dust cover we get a full-size USB port and a USB-C port. Also, what's pretty neat, and I really like when scanners do this, is they have integrated a space for the wireless dongle, push to release, and the dongle comes right out. And whenever I want to store this, I can just put this back on here, click on it, and it's gonna be safe and sound. And for accessories, they have included the semi-rigid case to protect the scanner. And also inside of the case, we get the power adapter, and they have included 2 replaceable faceplates in case we wanted to use the scanner in a different part of the world. And finally, we get a USB-C cable for charging. Starting off with the dongle, there are 3 indicator lights on it. The very first one tells us that there's power, then it connects to the scanner, it switches to the blue one, and there's also a red light if there were any issues that were found. And here's what the main menu looks like, and we'll start with Diagnostics. Now inside of here, first thing I want to show you is the vehicle coverage, and that is going to be the vehicle makes that are included with the scanner. And I'm going to scroll through here, that way you can see if your vehicle is on the vehicle coverage list. Now let's look at the auto search function, which most people know as the auto bin function. And we're given several options. Let's start with the first one, which is running a full health report on the vehicle, where it's going to check the systems that it's equipped with, and it's going to tell us if there are any DTCs or codes present on it. And as we can see, sure enough, there were issues found. There is 4 codes in the TPMS system, 1 in the combination meter, and 1 in power source control. Now the other systems on the vehicle tested out okay, and you can see that those are indicated with that green check mark. And at this point, we can choose to clear all the codes that were found or to create a report out of them. Let me show you what that looks like. And here's what that report includes, which is really a summary of the diagnostic scan that was run and also the issues that were found. And they're actually going to be listed here in full detail. And we can also do a couple things right now. We can send it to an email, or we can create a PDF with it. And in case we're not familiar with the code that was found, we are able to tap that code, and it's automatically going to send us to the internet so we can search for what that code is for. We can also jump directly into the module that has the issue. We get a description of what that module does, and then we can work with that module directly to troubleshoot the issue. Well, let's also go inside of the TPMS module. Again, we have a description of what that module does and the different things that we can do with it. And what I want to show you is the special functions for this module, and you can see that when you tap on this, again, we have a description of what this scanner can access on this particular module. And instead of running a full health report, we can also access the systems individually. Here I can select either the powertrain systems, the chassis systems, or the body systems. We can also go into service function, and here's where the scanner is able to detect what things is going to be able to access on this vehicle as far as service. But let's take a look inside of immobilizer key programming, and as you can see, each one of these functions can potentially have multiple sub-functions underneath it. The customized setting is similar to the service function, where the scanner is going to tell you what systems it can potentially customize on the vehicle. And again, each one can potentially have functions underneath each one of these different modules. The scanner also keeps a history of the vehicles that are tested with it. Now, there is an obd-II shortcut, which I'll show you in a little bit what it does, but what I want to show you right now is the demo function. And the demo function is tremendously helpful, and I really wish more scanners would introduce this function, because what it does, it can simulate the vehicle for you. And being able to practice on the demo module before we go on a real vehicle is super helpful. As you can see right now, I'm running a full health report, and sure enough, it's finding issues with the demo car, and even the demo module will create demo live data. That way you can learn to read that data and how to use the scanner. Moving over to the next large icon, that is services, and there's quite a bit of them. Everything from bleeding, the ABS system, airbag, BMS, brake management, ETS, EGR, IMO, which is the immobilizer, gear, knock sensor, odometer, SES, which is the steering angle, seat, TPMS, and more. Well, now let's take a look at the obd-II module. And under obd-II functions, we have the ability to check for emissions readiness. Is the car ready for emissions inspection? And we can look at that here. Also, we have another function on here, which is reading live data. Now, the reading live data option in this particular case has a lot of capability. You can see how many items we can potentially get from the vehicle. But let's check out the engine RPM. We can see that we have a number right here. However, by tapping this icon, we are able to graph that. And we can see that change in real time. We also get this combine function, and now we can select a couple different parameters that we want to see in one single graph. Hit OK, and here they are. Again, I'll give it gas. Now, it is important to point out that the maximum number of data streams that you can see in one graph together is going to be 4. So again, you will want to selectively pick the 4 that you want to graph together. There is also a record function, and this allows you to record the data. That way you can review it later. There's also the option to create a report, and there is an option to save sample data. Now, saving the sample data can be helpful in case you want to compare that sample to a new set of parameters. Going back to the main menu for OBD, we can also read freeze frame information if there was any, read fault codes. We know there are no fault codes on the ECM of this vehicle, clear the fault codes, and also look at the results of the onboard monitoring tests. But also notice that we got to obd-II Diagnostics with this icon. However, I can potentially get to obd-II Diagnostics using this icon as well. Moving over to updates, the scanner includes 2 years of updates. Now, what you're gonna find is that you can download the updates individually, or you can use the star all to update the whole scanner at once. And I actually just updated this recently, so you can see that there are constant updates being released for the scanner, which is always a good thing to see. You can also access the history of the vehicles that have been tested, including recordings of data streams. And let's go inside of repair info. And here you have a fault code library where you can enter a code and see what that DTC is for. This is convenient if you have a code but you don't have access to the vehicle. You can punch it in and see what it's for. And again, we get a shortcut to the internet so we can see if anybody else has found the answer for the code. There is also a video icon. However, there's currently nothing on there. Maybe they'll add videos in the future. But there is a learning icon, and here there's a couple of special operations, basically walkthroughs. And for example, right here you can see the GM walkthrough is basically a screen recording walking you through a process or how it's done. It's nice to have these options. It'll be great to see them expand as far as having more brands on here and potentially more learning information. And if we need a technical support, there is a feedback option. That way we can select the car that we diagnose and send feedback back to Topdon for troubleshooting. Moving over to settings, here's where you can renew your subscription, and here you can see how this scanner is going to have updates for 2 years. We also get a browser shortcut, and this basically allows us to browse the internet. And let's test out the video and audio capability of this. And here's the video and audio quality. Swiping one more time brings us back to the rear view. Tapping on the screen brings up the rest of the controls. The very first, which I think is pretty good. Also notice that I can slide down on here and I can adjust the brightness up and down. There's quite a bit of range on here. And also the volume, I think it was pretty loud right now, and you can see that I didn't have it very high, so that's pretty good. There's also a Wi-Fi shortcut, Bluetooth shortcut, a shortcut to a screen recorder, a shortcut to take a snapshot of the screen, and to change the portrait or landscape mode. You can also create a database of your customers and also enter your business information if you want that to be shown on the reports. You can also enable screenshots, which is this floating icon right here that again would allow you to take a screenshot. But as I showed you earlier, you can also turn that on or off with this icon. We also get a screen recorder icon, which again is a floating icon so we can move it around in case we wanted to do some screen recordings. Let's also take a look at the languages that are included with the scanner, and there's actually quite a bit of them in case you wanted to change the language from the default one. We can also change the unit of measure between metric and imperial, and we get a file manager. Now you'll notice that there is no button, a go back button. How do I go back to the prior screen? I can just swipe on the screen and that's gonna take me back, and swiping in the other direction will take me forward. So hopefully this video will help you decide if this is the right scanner for you. Remember, I place a link to the scanner in the description down below in case you want to check it out further. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more scanner reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.